Welcome to the Tom Sense Show, coming to you right now as the news happens. We are cutting through the spin and delivering the hard-hitting, America-first truth the mainstream media is too terrified to tell you. Tonight, we have got a massive lineup, from Donald Trump declaring a vital global waterway to be new United States territory, to a major victory in our courts to secure our borders and send thousands of illegal migrants home. Before we dive into the headlines, a quick reminder to everyone watching us on the air. You do not have to wait until the end of the show to get your voice heard. If you have a real, serious question about any of these stories, throw it in the chat on YouTube or over on X right now, and I will pull the best ones and answer them right here in the middle of the news. No softballs, no noise, just real talk. Let us get straight into it. We start with a massive, earth-shaking development from President Donald Trump that has the entire globalist foreign policy establishment absolutely losing their minds. On Tuesday morning, the president took to Truth Social and posted a graphic depicting the Strait of Hormuz with a giant red circle around it, captioned simply as New United States Territory. There was no extra text, no long-winded explanation, just a clear, bold statement of American strength. This post came only hours after a 60-day negotiating deadline under the United States and Iran Memorandum of Understanding expired without any progress, leaving that vital waterway largely shut down. Now, the Iranian regime is panicking, with their officials warning they will shift to a fully offensive military posture and launch strikes to break the United States naval blockade. Of course, the Democrats are instantly sidestepping the threat from Iran to attack our own president. Georgia Senator Jon Ossoff immediately ran to the microphones to complain about what he calls a reckless foreign policy. Meanwhile, the fake news media is hyperventilating because the White House and the Pentagon have not issued a formal clarification on whether this social media post represents an official military policy shift. Here is the plain truth that the media is trying so hard to ignore. For decades, American presidents have begged, pleaded, and spent billions of taxpayer dollars trying to keep hostile regimes from choking off global trade in the Strait of Hormuz, and it never worked. Donald Trump just drew a line in the sand with a single social media post, showing Iran that the days of pushing America around are officially over. An update now on the high-stakes trade standoff we have been tracking closely as the clock ticks down to midnight. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney and President Donald Trump held urgent, last-minute phone negotiations on Tuesday afternoon. We are just hours away from a midnight deadline that will slap a massive 50% tariff on $28 billion of Canadian goods, including cement, dairy, and wine. A spokesperson for the Canadian Prime Minister confirmed the talks are ongoing, but sources on the ground say both sides are severely locked in conflict over the proposed auto tariffs. Negotiators are floating a potential 15% auto tariff as a compromise, but Canadian industry leaders are already sounding the alarm, warning that these duties, enacted under Section 338 of the Tariff Act of 1930, could cause widespread job losses and business closures across Canada. Let us be entirely honest about what is happening here. For years, our trading partners have taken American generosity for granted, flooding our markets while protecting their own. Now, they are realizing that Donald Trump is not playing games when he talks about putting American workers first. If Mark Carney wants to protect his country's businesses, he needs to stop dragging his feet and offer a real, fair deal before the clock strikes 12. The threat of a 50% tariff is the only language these foreign leaders seem to understand, and Donald Trump is using it to perfection to ensure that America wins again. We turn now to a tragic and deeply sobering situation developing in Eastern Europe, and as always, when human lives are lost, we are going to report the facts straight without any humor. On Tuesday, a devastating Russian ballistic missile strike hit the peaceful village of Pechenihi in the Kharkiv Oblast of Ukraine. This brutal attack killed 10 innocent civilians and injured 8 others, completely destroying several residential homes and heavily damaging the surrounding civilian infrastructure. The strike came at a moment of extreme escalation, as Moscow Mayor Sergei Sobyanin claimed that Ukraine launched a massive overnight wave of 620 drones targeting Moscow and its outer regions. At the same time, the British government under Prime Minister Andy Burnham pledged to continue sending military drone support to Kiev. This prompted a swift and dangerous warning from the Russian embassy in London, stating that the United Kingdom will face severe consequences for any strikes hitting deep inside Russian territory. The loss of civilian life in Pechenihi is a tragedy, and it underscores the horrific human toll of this ongoing conflict. It is clear that the current international strategy is failing to bring peace, and instead, we are seeing a continuous cycle of devastating strikes and counterstrikes that put more innocent people in harm's way every single day. Now, let us talk about the absolute circus coming out of the Democratic Party, where Georgia Senator Jon Ossoff is trying to salvage his political career by launching a pathetic personal feud against President Trump and his staff. On Tuesday, during a campaign event in Georgia, Ossoff stood up and called President Trump a draft-dodging crook president. This was a desperate attempt to double down on his remarks from a Sunday rally, where the senator attacked Trump for traveling with his highly influential executive assistant, Natalie Harp, claiming the president is neglecting his official duties. Of course, Trump did not hold back, retaliating on Monday by mocking Ossoff's appearance and calling him a Pee Wee Herman lookalike, while White House Communications Director Stephen Chung fired back with some incredibly aggressive and well-deserved personal attacks online. Ossoff tried to defend his bizarre obsession with Natalie Harp on Tuesday, claiming the West Wing is filled with sycophants who act as a security blanket to shield the president from reality. It is incredibly funny to watch a career politician like Jon Ossoff whine about staffers when his own party is entirely run by unelected bureaucrats and handlers who have spent years hiding their own leaders from the public. If Ossoff spent half as much time worrying about the inflation and open borders destroying his home state of Georgia as he does obsessing over who is riding on Air Force One, he might actually have a record worth talking about. We have got a massive victory for the rule of law and border security to report this hour. A federal judge in Boston has just cleared the way for the Trump administration to enforce our immigration laws. United States District Judge Brian Murphy ruled on Tuesday to lift the final judicial block on terminating the temporary protected status for Ethiopian nationals. This crucial decision means the Department of Homeland Security can officially strip deportation protections from roughly 5,000 Ethiopians, giving them 60 days to voluntarily depart the United States or face swift deportation. This ruling is a direct result of the major 6-3 Supreme Court decision back in June, which severely limited the power of activist federal courts to block administrative decisions on immigration. Department of Homeland Security General Counsel James Percival rightfully celebrated the ruling, declaring that all terminations of this program are now fully in effect. Naturally, open border advocacy groups like African Communities together are furious, claiming that returning these individuals to Ethiopia puts them in danger. Let us look at the plain facts that everyone can see. Temporary protected status was designed to be temporary, not a permanent, backdoor pathway to citizenship that bypasses our legal system entirely. If a country is always considered too unstable to return people to, then the word temporary has lost all meaning, and the American taxpayer is left holding the bag forever. This ruling is a massive step toward restoring sanity to our immigration system. Finally, tonight, the United States Department of Justice is taking a sledgehammer to the divisive, race-based policies that have infected our higher education system for far too long. The Civil Rights Division has officially launched a compliance review into the College of William and Mary to investigate whether its race-based scholarships violate federal law. This probe is being led by Assistant Attorney General Harmeet Dillon, and it is targeting the Virginia Public University's financial aid and recruitment policies. Specifically, investigators are looking at the William and Mary Scholars Program, which gives preference to applicants who demonstrate an interest in diverse people and perspectives. Dillon made the position of this administration crystal clear, stating that awarding opportunities based on skin color is flat-out illegal and violates the basic guarantees of our Constitution. The university issued a statement saying they will cooperate, while trying to defend their diversity programs as totally legal. This investigation is part of a much larger, highly aggressive campaign by the Department of Justice to wipe out discrimination disguised as diversity, following similar civil rights actions against Duke University and the Yale School of Medicine. It is about time we return to a system where people are judged by the quality of their character and their academic achievements, not by where they fit on a bureaucrat's racial checklist. True equality means treating everyone the exact same, and this administration is making sure our universities finally learn that lesson. That is our show for this hour. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for your incredible questions tonight. We are here every day, bringing you the hard-hitting facts and the common sense this country desperately needs. Keep standing up for America, and I will see you right back here next time.